Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Play Action Podcast. So on July 17th of 2020, Colton and I set out on a journey. And now season 2 of this journey's here. Colton, do you ever think we make it this far?
No. Well, I thought this kind of be a few shows and like, all right, dude, this, that's kind of it. But nah, I didn't think we'd make it this far.
It's quite the journey. We've had Chris Wormley on. We have plenty of Sunday shows that we've gone through. Bunch of people we met along the way. And it's a very exciting time. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Play Action Podcast.
This is the Play Action Podcast featuring Will.
It's not every time. It's not every time.
Every time.
Featuring Colton.
The guy, if you go back into our division thing, this guy had the Jets.
I picked the Jets to win.
For no what reason?
Yeah.
Featuring a whole lot of arguing.
Playoffs, we're gonna win the division.
Listen. You need to realize my thinking process here because the Bills.
There is no thinking process.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
And I told people the Steelers were going to be decent. I didn't have the Steelers like, oh, they're godly. No, I was realistic. You were very unrealistic with the Jets.
Colton,
and guess who was right and guess who was wrong, Will? You were dead wrong about the Jets. I was dead right about Goat Allen and the Bills. And I was right about the Steelers. Come on now.
And come on now is right, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2 is underway, and we are live.
Right.
See us in stereo. Backgrounds full of jerseys, background full of memorabilia, all over the place.
Yeah, we've upgraded, my man. We've upgraded nonetheless.
We have upgraded quite a few. And well, Colton, want to share the news of what happened over the offseason? You got to become a writer now.
Yeah. Past few weeks, I've been luckily enough to join Steeler Nation as a contributor, writing articles. Just released one on Najee Harris. Is he the next great running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And on their videos, clearly you've seen me on their draft. If anyone paid attention on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff, I was on there. Stuff for draft day and all that stuff. So it was fun. Glad to be part of Steeler Nation. That is my team nonetheless, as you could tell from the background. So it's been great working with those guys, and I'm excited to get some more content out with them. So just to continue my journey.
Always a journey indeed. And let's welcome aboard our man, the myth himself, Mr. Joshua from TalkShowU. Joshua, hello.
What's up, everybody?
Josh,
What is up, my man?
explain a little bit about yourself.
My name's Josh. I'm a Giants fan. Not closet. I come out, support my team. Not as much as Colton. He's got a little bit more stuff in the background than I do. I got a Hall of Famer behind me, though, so that's one thing, I guess. Yeah, a Giants fan. Keep it going. Run a couple podcasts, too, but it's all fun.
Always fun, as we got some congratulations from the chat.
Appreciate it, man.
And we also have Jake here, not the teacups.
Oh my.
But hey, if you want your comment featured, trust us, we will feature the comment right down below. But if you're listening to this the next day, always try to figure out when we're live. Hey, follow us on Facebook, Play Action Podcast, YouTube, Play Action Podcast. You can find us live on there, making content everywhere we go, or you can listen to us, next day on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, 50 other podcasting platforms, just like Colton and Josh's shows. But let's get into the gist of this whole thing. For the next 8 weeks, Colton and I are going to be going through everything NFL related. So, divisional previews. This is very exciting time. So, we're starting out with the worst division in football, the NFC East. Unfortunately, Josh, it's true. It's true to a sense.
You did call it the NFC least last time I talked to you about this, so.
I mean, they are the least important. That's why you got to get them done first. It's hit or miss some days.
Colton's about to back me up.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I got some positive thoughts on your Giants this year, but it all is riding on one player once we do get to the G-men.
So how we're going to be doing these, we're going to be going from the worst team in the division and ending with the division winner. So that's how we're going to be doing these. So we're going to be starting out with the Philadelphia Eagles, and really their offseason was weird, to say the least. You have Doug Peterson, bunch of, rumors going around between him and the GM. What will Peterson do? Does he want Wentz? Does he not want Wentz? He ultimately gets fired a week into the offseason. And they bring in Nick Sirianni. Apologies for that.
There you
Colts
go.
offensive coordinator. He comes in and all that, as Jake now comments, fire Howie. But with the lack of money that the Eagles had and having to push and create a whole bunch of cap situations for every single NFL team had to go through the same exact thing. The Eagles did a lot of good. So let's look at their entire offense here. As Jalen Hurts, is he the man? That's what I want to bring up. Is Jalen Hurts the man? Carson Wentz shipped out to Indianapolis, reunited with the former Eagles offensive coordinator down there. Do you think Jalen Hurts is the man?
Yeah, I think he's got to be given an opportunity. He had sparks last year, again, with bare minimum receivers and offensive talent around him. Zach Ertz wasn't nearly what Zach Ertz usually is. He was banged up a lot last year. And Dallas Goedert also banged up. I think he's got to be given a shot. If they were to go out and draft a quarterback in this draft class, I mean, there would have been another face palm just like last year's draft class for Philly. I like the Devonta Smith pick. They do go up in front of the Giants to get him. Because that's kind of where you thought the Giants were going to go, which I didn't understand the pick for the Giants if they were going to go there. But Devonta Smith was a need for Philly. They addressed the need. And for people questioning his size, it's like, can he go across the middle? Tell me the last time you saw a receiver get lit up in the middle of the field. It doesn't happen. And this guy's really fast, and he's really, really good at running his routes. So he's not going to get any big shots, and just not present in the NFL today. You don't see any big licks over the middle of the field. So for people questioning his body, he's going to be just fine. I promise you he's going to be a problem there. And we'll see what happens with Jalen Hurts. He's got the keys to the kingdom right now, and does he want to live in the kingdom is kind of what's going on here with him. He's got to be given an opportunity.
I kind of agree with Colton in the sense that I think Jalen Hurts is their guy for this season. I think he needs to be given a chance as a young quarterback. But I don't believe that he's the guy that could lead them to a winning season or playoff run. I don't see it going that far at all. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that guy to lead this team. I watched him at OU, transferred from Alabama. OU gave him the option to kind of be himself, a lot more himself, and run more, pass more, do everything more than he did at Alabama. Rather than sitting on the bench. And I got to see him really in his full form. And even then, he was kind of the silent guy, but he was always working behind the scenes. He's a really hard worker. So if he can keep that going, he could be maybe a guy down the line, maybe a franchise quarterback. But as of now, I think he's a young quarterback. You're going to give him his chance. And I hope that he does well being an OU guy. But I just don't see it going very far this season. That's all.
And this brings up this. So apparently Adam Schefter has reported that the Eagles are preparing to make a massive offer for Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans when Watson's legal thing, everything clears up from him. The clouds clear from that. The Eagles are going to be the first team to call when all that clears up. And do you see them just giving away so much future to get a guy like Deshaun Watson, who has publicly stated that he does not like his stay in Houston thus far?
You got to give the house for a guy like that. If everything comes out clean on that court situation with everything off the field for him, if that all cleans up and it's like, all right, he's a clean sheet guy, there's nothing on him, you send the house for a guy like Deshaun Watson. Unless Jalen Hurts looks good. If Jalen Hurts looks good and you can win with him, then you maybe consider otherwise. But at the same time, you can also ship Jalen Hurts in that deal if he looks good. Because you're getting a top 5 quarterback. Washington's going to have to join the wagon soon on getting a quarterback. See what happens with Daniel Jones this season. So you need to have the best quarterback in the division or a top 2 quarterback to be relevant and make noise in the playoffs, and let alone win your division. So you look at every team, you need to have a top 2 quarterback in your division to win. And Jalen Hurts, we'll see. We'll see what he is this year. But you know what Deshaun Watson is. You instantly trade for Deshaun Watson. He's the best quarterback in the division. It's not close. It's not close. He's the best quarterback in the division if they do get Deshaun Watson.
I do think that with a chance to have a guy like Deshaun Watson, you have to take it. It doesn't matter. And with having a young quarterback like the Eagles do, I mean, obviously you've a franchise guy, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, which that's a crazy scenario too in itself. But with Jalen Hurts, I think you trade Jalen Hurts. If you get that offer and Deshaun Watson's sheet is clean, you trade Jalen Hurts, get Deshaun Watson, because you do have those guys at receivers, Devontae Smith, Travis Fulgham, Jalen Rigor, young guys, yes, but I think they've got potential, especially Devontae Smith, to really help Deshaun Watson out and come into the Eagles situation. And hopefully he'd like it more than the Texans. I know that's the whole thing with him right now is that he doesn't like the situation he's in, whether it's the GM, team, whatever it is, coach. I think getting a new team and getting a new option to start could be a nice spot for him. So I think you got to trade the house if you get that offer.
Problem is Philly also has a lot of holes. That's also part of the problem. Though. Like you trade for a guy like Watson's like, great, we sent 3 first-round draft picks to get him to whatever the number may be. Great. The offense looks a little bit better, but guess what? You ain't getting any younger and you're not getting any like better with picks. So if I'm Philly, I'm not doing it. They wait till we get to the defense. Like the offensive lines are only positive note. Their offensive line is really good. Some of those guys are getting older, though. You have to look at it that way. So if you do trade for Watson, it's kind of like a win-now thing, and they're not winning now. So to be honest, I'd rock with Jalen Hurts. Hopefully it works, and you keep your picks. So people don't understand the value of first-round picks in the NFL, but they are very, very important. And they have a lot of other holes, so I don't think trading for him helps at all.
You got the great running back situation here. Miles Sanders, you have Boston Scott. They also picked up Kerryon Johnson, Jordan Howard in the offseason. Running backs look good. Receivers, you got Fulgham, who has fallen off a little bit from his fantastic start when he was on the Eagles. You have Jalen Reagor, who's now entering a second year. Let's see what he can do. Reports are that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, there's a very slim chance he makes the 53-man roster after seeing A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, to name a few players that were drafted after him, produce so much more than what he's produced. And this brings up the next question here. What's Zach Ertz's future looking like now?
Yeah. From what I heard from Philly, it sounds like he's showing up to camp. He's showing up. He's ready to go. It didn't sound like it was going to be the prettiest of thing with him coming back, but it sounds like he's ready to go and he's showing up. So that still doesn't mean anything. They can easily trade him. They like Dallas Goedert clearly. So I could easily see them making a move and trading him. But what are you trading for? Like, are you getting a 3rd-round pick? Is that really worth trading Zach Ertz, or do you want some sort of talent around Jalen Hurts to see what he is future-wise? I don't understand trading Zach Ertz. I think he needs to stay in Philly unless you get blown away with like a 2nd-round pick where it's like, all right, we didn't expect this. We got to get it now.
I think keeping Zach Ertz too is good for Jalen Hurts' situation, being a young quarterback, and some of his decision-making in the red zone in college was not that good. I didn't watch him exactly in the professional yet last season, but college was not that good in the red zone decision-making wise. So hopefully a big tight end like Zach Ertz, even Dallas Goedert, can help him calm down and get a big target, big hands to catch that ball for him, knowing the Eagles receivers in the past. Getting Devontae Smith, hopefully that helps out too. But with Zach Ertz, you obviously want a tight end for a young quarterback to have a big body to throw to. So I hope he stays and it helps out Jalen Hurts as well.
So I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out right now. So we're going to just cut back to here. Josh witnessed me struggle earlier with figuring this out. So let's
struggle bus.
Click this back here. We're going to go into the defense here because I did not take screenshots of the offensive line. That was kind of my fault. I didn't think of that until right before
I got most of the line for you. They got Dylan on the left side. Pretty much he's probably the left tackle. Brandon Brooks is back. They're going to have a new left guard with Peters gone. Clearly Kelsey at center, and Lane Johnson on the right side. So there's your line. It's really good when they're healthy. Brandon Brooks will be back this year after a torn Achilles. They're going to be really good. That's their strong suit. And if you got a young quarterback like Jalen Hurts, run the ball. Look at the running backs. They're all very solid. Miles Sanders at the top back when he's healthy, and they use him the correct way. Same thing goes with Kerryon John. He's a really, really good running back. You saw spurts of it in Detroit. And you know what Jordan Howard is at the goal line. So they got the running backs. Use the run game when you have a good offensive line like they do. And it makes everything a lot easier. You can play action, get Hurts out in the flat, let him see the field. He can run. He can throw it. Makes everything a lot easier when you're able to run the ball. You saw how effective it was in Cleveland. So run the ball. You have a good offensive line. Run the ball.
And with most of the NFL, lack of money, which meant lack of moves for most teams, including the Eagles. But one of my favorite moves they did was acquire Anthony Harris. I thought that was a very good move for their secondary and how it kind of shaped out. Because I know Darby was in Washington by then. So as someone's replaying this, that's awkward. Okay, Josh. But let's look at like the defensive line. I still love the defensive line. Derek Barnett, they acquired Ryan Kerrigan, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox.
Yes, they've made some moves. They definitely have made some moves on the defensive side. I love the Ryan Kerrigan move. Would have liked to see that with New York Giants. I think needed that really badly. I think that would have been a really good move for them. TJ Edwards, I expect to have a really big year too. Kid from Wisconsin. The defense is solid, especially the front. It's disgusting. Josh Sweat was a really good, rotational guy in for them last year as well. You know what Brandon Graham is. Fletcher Cox, you don't need no introduction for him. And like you said, Anthony Harris was a steal in the back end from Minnesota. I thought that was great. And you see Darius Slay out here messaging Steven Nelson, former cornerback for the Steelers that was cut, money reasons. That would be really, really good on the other side with Darius Slay. They've made some moves. They're there. It comes down to the offense. It really is what it is. Can the offense put some points on board? People have Philly being absolutely a dumpster fire. I don't see that unless Jalen Hurts is really, really bad. So this team's gotten better defensively, which is good, especially the back end. If they can team someone up with Slay on the other side, then I'd feel a little more comfortable about Philly.
Yeah, that's my only question mark right now is behind Darius Slay. I don't see much work being done besides maybe Avonte Maddox every other game. Lavert Hill. Zach McPherson, young guy. I think he's rookie. Should be rookie.
Lavert Hill is young too out of Michigan.
Yep. But I just don't see much happening behind Darius Slay. Obviously, Darius Slay, huge cornerback. He'll guard your top guy, but behind that, you need some other guys on the other side to help out Slay so he's not carrying the load that much.
I know we're not even in the camp yet, but something could just come out. You're going to have a stud come out of camp, a stud or two on the team that shouldn't make the roster, but they're going to make the roster, and then they're going to get their name out there. I'm excited to see what the Eagles do because now there's no more Nick Foles, there's no more Carson Wentz, there's no more Doug Peterson. It's just fresh. It's very weird for Philadelphia. It's very weird.
I think it's very weird too that they've won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years, and now it's pretty much a clean sweep. Not really clean sweep, but still got some older guys. But for them to refresh already and hit that reset button, I feel like it's kind of crazy and unseen for the most part.
Well, let's shift from here. We're going to be going into Dallas, where the worst defense of all time last year lets up the most amount of points per game on average. And let's look at their offense right now. Dak Prescott, 100% healthy, returns from the ankle injury. And this is what they need. They need a quarterback, a steady quarterback. And Dak Prescott, as what Colton and I talked about last year, you got to pay the man. The man got paid. He deserves it 110%. He's played his lights out. He says everything correctly. The man's paid. The rest of the offense, let's kind of figure out what the rest of the offense is going to do. Because I know it's not the great Dallas O-line like it used to be with Travis Frederick at center. You're kind of losing pieces all around. You don't have Doug Free anymore. You have Lel Collins. You still have Zach Martin. You got Smith at left tackle. You still got some good pieces here. You still got a lot of good pieces here for Dallas.
It's still an above-average offensive line, so that's all you need to know. This team's going to put up a boatload of points. They have to. You have to put up 40 points with this defense. So, I mean, the receivers are really good. Tight ends are really solid. Clearly, you got Zeke, who needs a big bounce back. He was bad last year for Dallas. And a healthy Dak Prescott. So, I mean, this team has to put up 40 points. Dak's going to be a great fantasy quarterback once again, so go out and grab him, folks, because he's going to have to put up a boatload of numbers. And I was really happy till he got hurt. And, yeah, go draft Dak Prescott. He's going to be a top 3 fantasy quarterback. So go and get him early in your drafts because he's going to be very, very important for Dallas. And, yeah, the receiving core is loaded, folks. So this team's got to put up 40 points. It's literally – this is how this team works. So it's literally – look at Dallas overall. What is it? All of us has to put up 40. Thank you. And the defense ain't stopping a nosebleed.
Yeah, pretty much. Dak, stay healthy. I think he can. Wow, what a comment by GPC. Is Dallas overrated? I think if Dak stays healthy, I think the offense is one of the best offenses in the league. They're loaded weapon wise. So as long as Dak is good to go and clean and ready for play, I mean, I don't see anything wrong happening with this offense. With the defense, their first 6 picks in the draft were all defense, as it should be. I think with Micah Parsons, Kelvin Joseph, even Jabril Cox, linebacker from LSU, later rounds, should help out on the defense. Obviously, they're rookies, so they're not going to help out tremendously, at least maybe not at first. But Micah Parsons, I think, could be a solid linebacker.
Instant guy.
Micah Parsons, I think, could be solid, at least for this season. Might be a breakout rookie, so we'll see what he does.
I mean, I'm excited to see what Dallas can do overall as you're kind of shifting from a terrible defense to now you got Dan Quinn in the helm right now for Dallas, and hopefully he can kind of fix what Dallas is kind of just depleted. As I'm trying to get this graphic up really quick for everyone.
No, you're good. You don't have to look at anything here. The defense is a bunch of red. Why is that? Because they're all bad. And Dallas doesn't address the defense. So, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. So, yeah, there's nothing here that's like, yeah. I didn't understand Micah Parsons. I like Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith. Their linebackers are fun. I didn't understand Michael Parsons. At the same time, he's a top 3 draft pick. So, like, he's there. It's like, I don't care. I don't care if it's not a need. You're selecting him. He's that big of an impact guy at a Penn State. You have a lot of needs. This defense is really bad. Like, it's really bad. This is what I didn't understand in past drafts. Taking CeeDee Lamb, it wasn't necessary when you got Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson, who could be a number 3 receiver on other teams, especially in Dallas. This team just drafts offense. It's very flashy. It's very Dallas. It's very Dallas-like, and this is what the result is, and they're going to be bad. They're going to be the worst team in the division next year, and it's not close, or clearly this year, but they're going to be the worst team in the division, and it's not close. It's going to be them and Philly battling, and as we get to the next 2 teams, those are the teams fighting for the top 2, and it's not close. Like, if you're giving me a ladder, like where we're standing, Washington, Giants, and then like a big dip, like it's not even on the screen, in Dallas and Philly. It's not close. Dallas and Philly are not going to be competing for this division. It's literally a 2-man race for this division. That's why it's the NFC East. It's not going to be competitive.
See, to me, I don't think it's going to be – would you consider last year competitive, Colton, because of how close they were? I feel like –
That's a dumpster fire, though.
It's yes and no. I mean, it was competitive with record-wise, but they were all garbage. So, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it.
Yeah, but they're going to be better this year, dude. Look at the wait till we get to the Giants. They're next up on our list. I mean, the improvements are there. It's all in front of the Giants and Washington. It really is. They made small moves, nothing like boom. I mean, the Giants made a few that were like, oh, okay, all right, let's look at this team now. But Dallas, again, Micah Parsons is great, fantastic.
He was there at 12.
What is he doing in the back end? The back end's so awful.
Yeah, when you're starting corners, your rookie Kelvin Joseph that you just drafted, you have no defense. You at least have no corners at that point. DeMarcus Lawrence is your only star, and he's up there in age anyway, so he's probably on the back end of his career anyway. So I just don't see
DeMarcus Lawrence was questionable for them last year. He wasn't like discussing, and that also is part of the problem because the rest of their line is bad. So it's like, all right. There's double DeMarcus Lawrence, and it's going to be very easy, folks. We're going to have all day to throw the ball. So, again, they have to put up 45 points to win games.
And that's every game they have to do it.
Yes,
there's
bingo.
there's no
And they
option.
lost games early with Dak. Why is that? Don't worry. It wasn't Dak's fault. They put up 38 points a game. Don't matter. They can't stop a nosebleed. Just run the ball, and you will literally beat Dallas because they're not going to let the offense touch the ball. So good luck, Dallas. They're going to be bottom dwellers. I don't care if Dak's back and he got paid $1 bazillion, where it's like, oh, Dallas should be competitive this year. No, they're not. The first two teams in this division are the best, and it's not close. It's literally a two-man race. And if Daniel Jones plays well, since we're getting ready to get into the Giants, if Daniel Jones plays well, they win the division. And it's not close either, my friend. It's not close if Daniel Jones plays top 15 football.
Some of the moves I did enjoy for Dallas was bringing in both safeties from Atlanta, Keanu Neal and Devontae Kazee, but that doesn't really fix the whole problem on defense. I know they're moving Neal to linebacker, but the biggest question, though,
They have a bazillion linebackers anyway, Will. Dallas being Dallas, my friend. This is literally what it is. Look at you don't have enough room on the field for these linebackers.
But here's what I bring up here. Van Der Esch, the fifth-year option, for some reason, Dallas says we're not picking up. Do you think we could see Van Der Esch get traded during camp? I think there is a chance that we could see that happening.
I mean, the Micah Parsons pick is kind of saying he's got to get moved.
Which I don't see why.
And Jalen Smith paid, so you're screwed with that. You're not getting rid of Jalen Smith's contract. So clearly that means Leighton Van Der Esch is on the move. You should have picked up his fifth-year option because that means the team has a little more wiggle room with him. So Dallas being Dallas, my friend, you pick up his option. You can still trade him with the option. Teams are going to like that. They have wiggle room with him because he's good. When he's healthy, he's very good. So whatever. Don't matter to me seeing Dallas be bad. So no problem with that at all. So they're going to have to put up 45. Literally, what's your brief assessment for the team? For Philly, how does Jalen Hurts do? Dallas has to put up 45 points to win a game. It's literally what it is.
As we're going to take a little break, but so a couple of us, well, three of us here out of the six people here, we do a show on Sundays during football season. And, it's always a fun time. So we're just going to be cutting a little promo of what the show's all about. It's all about sports. There's a lot of funny moments. So here's one of the better moments from last season. Oh, fun. If you're not frozen.
I'm not here now.
It's sound quality.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Yes, you're here, but you're very spaced out there, my man, in Oklahoma.
Oh no, I'm driving him.
Okay. That is not how that. You're gonna see a lot more of that stuff coming in September, every single Sunday, live, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. It's fun. It's just all.
I don't know about
in the fun spirit.
But I miss those Sunday shows so much.
I miss those Sunday shows.
I was losing brain cells. What I was doing, I was losing brain cells doing with some of you guys. Lord.
But anywho, let's continue back to the NFC East, and we're gonna be going with the runner-ups here, the New York Giants. Let me get back into the comments here. You have Daniel Jones, who went from 24 touchdowns his rookie year to 10 last year. I know he was dealing with an ankle injury, so he missed a game or two. Colt McCoy stepped in, played really good football, beat Seattle, and kind of kept the playoff hopes alive through Week 17. Now you have all these weapons here for Daniel Jones. Do you think this is a make or break year for Daniel Jones?
Yeah. I'll let the Giants guy handle that. I'll let the Giants guy go first.
It's 100% a make or break year. I mean, he's never had a true number one wide receiver. Now he does in Kenny Golladay. So I think when he has a true number one, we haven't seen him yet. So we'll see what he does. I think with all these weapons, he's going to give the ball to somebody good, I feel like. I mean, Evan Ingram, I'm still shaky about. I don't like him at tight end still. He made Pro Bowl somehow. But you got Saquon back. Hopefully he's healthy and 100%. Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. You can see all the weapons. Kadarius Toney, John Ross even was a huge pickup, I think.
You know a lot about Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, I know a lot about Kadarius Toney. What a draft pick. But I just think that with all these weapons,
awful pick.
You have to say it's a make or break year for the guy. If he doesn't throw for at least 20, 25 touchdowns, it's a break year. You failed. You need to be getting out the ball quick. to all these receivers. You have enough. Throw it to one.
And
Yeah,
we'll-
I mean, this team is this. Yeah, Saquon make or break it. It has to be. He hasn't been healthy. I hated the pick for the Giants when they drafted him. It wasn't a win now team. You only draft a running back if it's a win now team. That's my only where if you're going to draft a running back, it's a win now team. Giants weren't a win now team when they drafted him, and guess what? He hasn't been healthy. He got the Giants fans all up in their seats that first preseason game, and he's freaking sporting out a 40-yard run that should have been a 2-yard loss. He's very, very good. This is a make or break. This team has Super Bowl potential. Absolutely does. So is this a make or break year for Saquon? Yeah, he's got to stay on the field. That's been his big problem. He can't stay on the field. And as a running back, yeah, look how that worked in Pittsburgh. Get the heck out of town. So you have to stay on the field. He's got a ton of weapons. Look at this chart. I mean, it's up there with Dallas. So, and the thing is, this team actually has a defense, unlike Dallas. That's the very big difference between the Giants and Dallas. It's a make or break year for Saquon Barkley. I don't understand the Tony pick. And by the way, you do have your chart wrong in 2 spots. Kyle Rudolph, tight end, number 2.
I was wondering. I was like, I feel like we got somebody.
Listen, I didn't make this.
Hold
I didn't
on.
make this chart.
Hold
I
on.
took it from lineups.com.
Sterling Shepard will be in the slot. That
That's
is a
fact, yeah.
lock. Sterling Shepard will be a slot receiver for the New York Giants. Slayton on the outside, along with Kenny Galladay.
I was gonna
And
get
right on
Slayton.
cue, Kadarius Toney. I didn't like the pick at all for the Giants. I thought edge rusher was sitting right there in front of their face, and they took Toney. I get he's really, really explosive. He has what John Ross was supposed to be coming out of college, out of Washington. Toney is really, really explosive. As for the question, he's probably going to be a punt returner and just get him the ball. He's going to be splashy. He's going to be explosive.
I was thinking we might have some designated plays too. I mean, you've got to design some plays for this kid to really show his explosiveness and just get him out in the open field. Let him show you what he can do, because I do think he's super explosive. And when he's one-on-one with a guy, he's breaking his ankles. The dude's crazy with his quickness as well. So I think it'd be fun if they could design some plays and see what he can do as well. That'll definitely help out Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they have a lot of upside on this offense. Bringing in a guy like Kyle Rudolph who can pass, can block in the run game that Evan Ingram cannot. It's not there for Evan Ingram. He's tried to get better. He hasn't. It's been awful.
Drops are there for Evan Ingram.
Yes, they are. So, and Kyle Rudolph has good hands. You see him in play action in the red zone. So that adds another little piece to the offense. It's going to allow the run game to get going a little bit more. Their offensive line's pretty solid. So this team is literally it should – if you're going to tell me right now who am I picking for the division, it's the Giants. And it's on Daniel Jones, though. If Daniel Jones plays well, they win the division. If he doesn't, they're not winning the division. They're going to be second place again. They might be a wild card team. But the NFC has got some solid teams, so that's where I lie on the Giants. And we're going to get to this defense in a minute here, and it's absolutely loaded. My goodness. They have one hole for me, though, and I think it's a big one. I would have liked to see them address it a little bit more than they did.
That's why I think, too, that with this defense that we're about to show, I feel like it also helps out Daniel Jones. Does he need a great season with this defense? I don't think so. I think he just needs a good season. Maybe just get some touchdowns under your belt, protect the ball a little more, because this defense is a lot more loaded than last year and maybe a lot more developed as well. I like this defense a lot, especially at corner.
I love the defense too. I mean, acquiring Adoree Jackson in free agency, who really shouldn't have been cut from the Titans, but again falls on the cap situation this year. And also another thing to point out, Leonard Williams, as of right now, is the only guy to not be playing on the franchise tender of, I believe, the 7 people I got tagged. Everyone else has to play on the tender. I mean, kudos on the Giants for paying him only $9 million this year, but you're paying him an astronomical amount the next 2 years, just on this 3-year deal. So
it's a move they had to make. You don't trade a 3rd-round pick, and the way he was last year for them, you can't tag him. The price tag was through the roof. I think it was like $19.5 million. Yeah, he's not T.J. Watt. He's not Myles Garrett. So you have to make some adjustments on the contract. And that allowed them to make some moves like bringing in Adoree Jackson. It made some moves like Kenny Galladay. So you sometimes have to bite a bullet on a deal or two, and they have to, and they did. And he was productive for them last year, and you got to hope he's productive again for them. My big problem is the edge rush. I don't see a guy on here that can go and get the quarterback consistently. They don't have a 10-sack guy on this team, and I think that is a problem. That's something, if they are in first place or second place right up there in the division, I think when it comes to deadline, a team might be like, all right, yeah, we got to get rid of somebody here. Like, let's get something for him. It's expiring contract. Giants have to make some phone calls and get an edge rusher. And I don't think it's close. I think that's their biggest hole on this team. It's literally edge rushers, their biggest hole on this team.
And also, I got one comment on here. What are your thoughts on Joe Judge after his first year?
I feel like he kind of installed, I don't want to say a culture, but kind of just a mindset of we need to start winning games and change this franchise around, because the last 3-4 years with Ben McAdoo and whoever the hell else we had, I forget who else, it just wasn't good, okay? The coaching was not good. Sitting Eli to start Will's favorite quarterback, Geno Smith, was not a move to be made. So, yeah, I think he really just started to talk to the team and really just install something in the locker room that made these guys realize we're the New York Giants and we're known as a really historic franchise, and we kind of need to get back to a winning record, at least maybe some Super Bowls too. So I think he's a great coach to coach this team, and I think that they're ready for it. They just got to play good and play well and stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm looking more and more at this back end. Oh, my goodness gracious. This secondary is gross. I'm looking at it. You have Xavier McKinney out there in the red. No, he's not in the red. The guy just played like 3 games last year. He's disgusting. This team's really, really spoopy.
Compared to the Eagles,
yes,
it's the complete opposite for the Giants. I feel like they have everything you want in the secondary. I don't think you could fill anything in the secondary that –
dude, this secondary is wild. I thought they got an absolute fleece job on James Bradbury's contract compared to Byron Jones with the Dolphins. Yeah, this team is an edge rusher from being up in the conversation of the Buccaneers and the Rams for me.
I think it all falls down on Daniel Jones. I think it just falls on Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
What can he do? Can he make sure the defense is not on the field every couple of minutes? Can he at least get him into a scoring opportunity for most points of the game, over 50% of the game? Could he get him into field goal range or even scoring a touchdown, getting into those areas? I think that's kind of what this Giants team is looking at right now. I know just hearing you guys, because I'm a little biased, a little bit pinch of biasness, but hearing you guys talk about this entire defense, it's getting me a little more hype for the Giants. Is there a turning point? What could they turn the corner? It's here.
That's why I was saying
can
earlier,
they get past it?
I think with this good of a defense, that's why I think that Daniel Jones, everybody's looking at him saying he needs to not make mistakes. He needs to have a great season. I think he just needs to have a good season with this defense. I mean, he plays a little better and protects the ball. I think you're in the playoffs. I think you're winning this division, and it's unfortunate because I feel like a lot of people don't recognize them as this because of this defense. It's kind of just not seen as a big defense. But I think as long as Daniel Jones can have a good season, 20 touchdowns, 3,000 yards, let's call it. Let's hope he gets that. I just think he needs to have a good season, and I think they'll be all right.
It's just like an Eli season. It's not like you need a Patrick Mahomes, here's 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. All you need is 4,000 yards, 25, 27 touchdowns. You don't need that much.
Yeah, my number's 3,500. If I can get 3,500 yards from him, because they should have a run game. Saquon's there. So, if 3,500 yards, give me 26 touchdowns to 7 or 8 picks. That's a perfect number for him, and this team's going to win the division. And it's not close as long as they stay healthy. Like I said, we're going 2 words or 1 word on each team. For Philly, going to repeat myself here. Philly, it's on Jalen Hurts. See how he does. For Dallas, it's 45 points a game. Giants, it's Daniel Jones.
And let's go into the last team, Washington, and I'll be the one to say it. I don't think any of us expected them to touch the postseason, just remotely close to. But here we are. Here's really my concern. If you are Riverboat Ron, who do you go with at quarterback? Do you go with the newcomer Fitzpatrick, who's on his, I believe, 8th NFL team? Do you go with Taylor Heineke, who almost beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs? Or do you go with Kyle Allen, who you know from Carolina? You had him start some games in Carolina. He did good. He didn't do amazing. I shouldn't say good. He did okay. It wasn't anything to like go home and boast about.
No, you're going Fitzmagic. You usually see how his first year goes with teams. You got to ride Fitzmagic. You got Scary Terry clearly on the outside, really scary. And then you bring in Curtis Samuel. So I mean, this team's gotten a lot better, and you know what Antonio Gibson is. He's really, really good. Running back out of Memphis, I believe. He had a really good year last year when he was healthy. I believe he got snagged up with a turf toe. That kind of slowed him down a lot at the end there, but he's really, really good. And Logan Thomas is a monster. So this team has a lot of upside. They're third in the division in offense in my book. The first two are clearly disgusting with the Giants and Dallas. I like this offense. They have a lot of pieces, and you know what Fitzmagic does in his first year. He does a little bit of magic. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If Daniel Jones doesn't play well, this team wins the division again, and it's not close. If Daniel Jones plays well, the Giants win it, and the Washington football team are fighting for a wild card spot because this defense is absolutely disgusting. And the offense has enough playmakers to get the ball out to Scary Terry, let Curtis Samuel do something stupid out of the backfield, make some crazy routes, get him out in the open, let him put someone on skates. So I like Fitzmagic coming in, veteran to run this offense with a really good run game. You saw what Antonio Gibson did. J.D. McKissick out of the backfield in the receiving game. This team has a lot of potential to be a very top half offense, top 20 offense, not a bottom dweller. I do like the additions they made.
I think I agree with Colton too. With Fitzpatrick's got to start the season. I do have one maybe. Not concerned. I don't know what the word is right now. But I think there's one thing that you could think of maybe starting Heineke or Kyle Allen is maybe this spring practices and all the summer, you saw something really nice out of one of them. And you could maybe start to see one of them start in maybe week 2, 3, 4, somewhere around there. But you got to start with Fitzpatrick. Let those guys sit behind him, especially Heineke, because I think he showed something in the playoffs. It was just one game, but he did play his ass off in that game. So I think it's one thing to see out of him. And with the weapons that they have, I mean, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries too, who I think is still a solid receiver. People aren't even thinking about him, but I think you got a solid offense for Fitzpatrick to throw to, even if you want to throw in Heineke later in the season, develop him. And running backs, it's given with Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick, even Peyton Barber from Tampa Bay, who I think had a fall off last season. But
could you see them trading for Watson?
I
think there's a lot of. I think like every team might inquire about Watson at this point.
You have to at least put your chip in with Deshaun Watson. You have to put your name in the hat. That's my thing.
This is a team that makes a lot of sense for Deshaun Watson. If you're going to ask me Philly or Washington, it's Washington. Look at the defense. If they can somehow get him giving up like 3 first-round draft picks and you're not moving Chase Young, it's not a question. It's not a question you're going to acquire Deshaun Watson because this team's instantly the best team in the division if they get Deshaun Watson.
And if you're Deshaun Watson too on a checklist, I think Washington does check a lot of boxes. They have weapons. They have a running back. Defense is almost spectacular. I think top 10 easy, maybe even top 5. So I just think they check a lot of boxes for Deshaun Watson. I think it could be an easy, not an easy trade, obviously, but keep Chase Young, like Colton said. I think they've got something there.
And one thing, too, they did tag Brandon Sheriff for the second straight year. They're not getting an extension done with them. So another year, another player out of Washington playing second year on the franchise tender. Gonna be interesting to see where really one of the top 5, top 10 right guards end up going probably next year if he ends up staying at all in Washington. And that's a situation to watch. But defense, youthful. I love this defense. This is probably one of my favorite defenses right now.
Yeah, they're very gritty. They're tough, hard-nosed defense, and they made a great move acquiring William Jackson III from Houston from the Cincinnati Bengals. Their back end's really good. Landon Collins hasn't been what he was in New York those few years, but he's been really reliable in the back end. Cameron Crowe has been really good for them also last year. And you know what Kendall Fuller is. I mean, there's no questioning Kendall Fuller. Really, really good there for them. And the front is, if not the best, it's top 3, top 2. They're up there with Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's front, Washington's front. You're clearly taking one of those two fronts if you're to pick one. Tampa Bay, clearly another one. But, yeah, this is really disgusting. Again, question mark is their middle linebackers. John Bostic was good for them last year. They don't have any linebackers that can really cover. I think that's something they might – again, you don't see inter-division trades, especially for a guy like Leighton Vander Esch. They can come knocking on Dallas's door and get a Leighton Vander Esch. That'd be really good for them. Got to anchor that defense on the middle linebacker. But that's what they're missing. If you're looking at this defense, it's like, what are they missing? It's a middle linebacker. Otherwise, this is a perfect defense all the way around, especially with the acquisition of William Jackson III.
I think also their defensive line to me is top 2, maybe top 3 if you want to include some other teams, but their defensive line is easily top 3. I mean, you think of Chase Young, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. Offensive line is only choosing one of them. You can double team Chase Young. You're allowing one of those other guys to get through, and you're not stopping all of them.
You can't double. You cannot double with this front. You cannot. Yeah. And if they want to throw a wrinkle and bring a linebacker, you are finagled, my friend. You are not stopping this front. No, they will all get home.
What I was going to say, too, is their rookie linebacker, Jamin Davis. I think he's a solid pick at 19, and I think he could easily have a nice rookie season. I don't think he'll have a breakout one. But with this defensive line, I think he could get some nice looks as a rookie linebacker. So I would definitely look at him to maybe produce something more than people are thinking, at least. I do think maybe behind Kendall Fuller and William Jackson that it might be a little bit once you get to 3rd and 4th corners, but a lot of teams don't have 3rd and 4th receivers that are that good and going to push over those guys. So I think they'll be all right on the corners too. But
and they don't have to protect that long. Not with that. They don't have to worry about sitting there like, oh my God, they can't get home on this front. They don't have to worry about guarding the receiver for 8 seconds. Clearly exaggeration, but like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, because that front's getting home even without blitzing.
So I have a question now, too, is when you compare Washington's defense and Giants' defense, do you consider the Washington better because of just that stout defensive line and the Giants missing that edge?
Yeah.
Obviously, right? Okay.
Well, because you can't double team Chase Young.
It solves a lot of problems. It solves a lot of problems having.
Yeah, once you start at the front, you start that well. Yeah.
You can't double team Chase Young because you have to worry about Payne and Allen. So you're kind of like you have to just pray to God your quarterback could just get the ball out really fast.
Yeah.
You got to pray that your quarterback's Brady could get the ball out in like a second and a half, just start the plays right through.
The Giants, I really wanted the Giants. Clearly they can't do it all. They didn't have the money to go out and sign Bud Dupree, Kenny Galladay, and what's his name. If you're asking me, I would have rather have seen them sign Bud Dupree over Kenny Galladay. If you're going to go Kadarius Toney or Devonta Smith for that matter. So that's where I kind of hold like the Giants, great. Like Kenny Galladay is a really good receiver. I would have rather seen them get a Bud Dupree to team up with Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence, because that would put the Giants up there, because you're still going to get Dory Jackson. That would put them up there with Washington. That's where I might give the edge to the Giants if they were to get a legit edge rusher. That's why I didn't understand the Toney pick. When you just bring in a guy like Kenny Galladay, that's why I didn't understand the pick when you had edge rushers there. Kwity Paye was sitting there. He was sitting there for the Giants. Again, he's not like Kwity Paye is not like a Chase Young where it's like it's a no-brainer. But I don't know.
Yeah, if you had your thoughts on Kenny Galladay, I don't agree with the pick, but I don't know if they even had that in their minds at that point. Maybe they did. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not in that room. But drafting Kadarius Toney, I don't think it's bad, as explosive as he is. Help out Daniel Jones, maybe get the ball out quicker with jet sweep, something like that, little pitch action, RPO, whatever you can think of. But with Kenny Galladay, too, I mean, the offense is fire-powered. So,
one player also to watch out for. Landon Collins could be a bubble player, as I think this is his third year into like a 6-year deal he signed all the way back in 2019. But again, this isn't the regime that signed him, and that's going to be that's going to be the same thing we're going to be saying throughout the next couple weeks. A lot of players that are on the bubble, it's just not the regime right here. But ladies and gentlemen, that rounds out our show. Josh, I'm going to put you solo here. You could talk about everything you have planned going on.
Like this week, you want to know my week's plans? All right.
Yeah.
No, we got
What are you eating for dinner?
I think Jacob's picking up some cereal, so fingers crossed to grab some cereal on the way home. No, but we got some podcasts coming out next week. Hopefully, the house starts next week with Dom, Jake, Jacob. Everybody knows that crew, I'm sure, a little bit on our Sunday shows. So the house should be starting next week, and TalkShowU should be starting after that. TalkShowU for college football, the house NFL. So super excited to get those podcasts starting up, even with you guys on Sunday. So I'm excited for the football season to get here already, and look forward to it for sure.
And Colton, what do you got playing going on?
Colton's a celebrity. Can I just say real quick?
Colton is a celebrity. I need his autograph.
Before you put him solo, let me boost this guy real quick. He not only had Patrick Mahomes on his show, okay? Agent. Oh, I almost messed up.
What are we doing?
Agent on his show. He also is over here writing articles for this Steeler fan page, just like it's nothing. Just saying, oh yeah, go read this real quick, like it's nothing. Colton Gesser's a star. Go ahead, throw him up there. He deserves 5 minutes.
I appreciate it, boys. But nah, I'm just out here writing some articles. Got some ideas going here for Steeler Nation, for some articles. Working on getting the Personal Foul podcast back and going was I won't say taking time off, because I would like to get a show every single week, but I don't want it to just be guys on the couch, just random guys. I want the guests to be good and that bring really good information to the people. So I'm working on getting Michael Burton on from the Saints, trying to convince this guy to get me Sebastian Joseph Day from the Rams. He's got some connections. I'm trying to see if I can pull some strings with that. But other than that, you're going to see my articles. I'm trying to get a few out a week, 2 or 3 out a week with Steeler Nation. I got, like I said, just written one about Najee Harris. Is he the next great running back for Pittsburgh? Next one I would like to talk about is their X factors. I can't wait to write about that. They have some big ones, possibly that stick out like a sore thumb to me when we get to the AFC North. But I'm excited. Got some big stuff. And, of course, Play Action Podcast, baby. Let's get these shows pumping out. And I'm excited, dude. Can't wait. Football right around the corner, man.
Football's almost there. Follow the Play Action Podcast on your favorite social media platforms. Play Action Podcast over on Facebook, the Play Action Podcast on Instagram, Play Action Pod 1 on Twitter. And before we sign off, Colton, happy early birthday, but I'm still going to text you tomorrow. So
Appreciate it. Much appreciated, boys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on too. I appreciate you guys.
No problem. But
absolutely, man.
Next week, AFC South. Tune in. Boo. It's going to be a fun one. Like, did the Texans wrongfully fire Bill O'Brien because he was that good of a coach? I don't have the rant from Colton anymore, but we're going to get a new one. I'm guaranteeing it. But ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm going to leave off on. Everyone have a great night, and see you guys next week.